Welcome back to this Let's Play of the original official campaign for Neverwinter Nights 2. Last time we discovered the location of Almanjero's Haven, so we're going to head out there. There's more things we could do at Crossroad Keep, but I'm going to hold off on those until later, essentially after we've completed some more plot stuff. When we try to travel to Almanjero's, we get a cutscene.
You have returned, and you have been wounded.
Yes, my Lord Garius, the Harborman. The one who disrupted our ritual at Crossroad Keep. He hounds us still. Let me gather my strength, and then I...
My only concern is a ritual of purification, as it should have been yours. Are the statues intact? Can the ritual still be performed?
The Harborman was able to finish a portion of the ritual, my lord, but by itself, it is not enough to stop us.
By itself? Explain.
When I arrived at the ruins of Ilfarn, another had come before the Harborman and I was able to destroy the statue that granted the fifth part of the ritual, but someone completed it before I could stop them. And I do not know who it was.
I see. So it seems there is another player in this war. It is no matter. Once we slay the Harborman, then the future of our king is assured.
My Lord Garius, the Harborman is stronger than before. He cannot destroy us, yes, but in battle, he may be a match for any of us.
Indeed. He may be able to challenge one of us, but not all of us, I think.
Well, those are tough chestnuts to crack, but here we are at Almanjero's Haven, and well, I've switched as many people as I can over to cold iron weapons. There are demons everywhere here. And Chandra is pointing out it doesn't look friendly. Yeah, big surprise there. I'm actually going to have to memorize more greater magic weapon, because most of my people now are using my...
Everybody,
I haven't made one for Chandra yet. Are using my custom-built weapons.
Everyone, follow me.
So they don't have any base attack bonus on them, which isn't really a huge problem, but it does cause some complications.
Yes.
I'm using some people I
want?
haven't used a lot, at least recently, and I gained their levels off screen. There's not a whole lot that's real sort of thrilling what's going on with the skills I've gained. Chandra, come back here.
Follow me! Keep up!
And the joy of your companions running off like that is that whenever you issue one of those voice commands, it clears all of your commands on everybody. So you're gonna have to reorder all this junk.
Everybody, grab a buddy and let's head out.
Yeah.
And I guess we kind of got through most of it anyways.
Damn it all!
Don't really need to worry too much about the enemies out here on the surface. They're not that hard.
Attack!
These gargoyles, let's throw around some sonic attacks now that we have the bard spells off of Gravenar. Wow, Cacophonic Burst, really not that impressive. But shout! I like the animation on shout. I don't really care for it, especially because Gravenar got hit. Good job. I'll clean everything up later. First thing I want to do is just clean up the outside stuff. Greater Invisibility, I haven't actually used this spell yet, but Greater Invisibility has sort of two portions. It makes you invisible, which is of course useful for, you know, sneaking up on people, but it also, once you break the invisibility, it gives you the same effect as displacement, which means you still get 50% concealment, which makes it really more useful for concealment than as an invisibility spell. But really, displacement does the same thing, and it's one level lower. So unless you actually want the invisibility, it's really not that useful. curious if actually if gargoyles are immune to Finger of Death. I guess we'll figure it out. That would be no. Avasculate I used very heavily. I used it quite a bit in my Mask of the Betrayer LP. And the cute sort of side effect of Avasculate is that you can use it to determine how many hit points enemies have. But let's keep exploring this place. I think that deals with all the enemies right here at the start. Congratulations, Grobnar, you dodge taste. Idiot. Oh, nope, more Shadow Mastiffs. Let's see how many hit points they have. Avasculate always does half their current hit points, so if you cast it when they're at full health, you can just multiply by 2 to figure out how many hit points they have. 110 for the Shadow Mastiff, which should be quite a bit, but as you can see, we're more than capable of dishing out substantial damage. On the Road of Concealment, there's also Ethereal Visage. This is another Bard spell I picked up. The Ethereal Visage is also great because it's 20/magic reduction, which means against enemies that are not using magical weapons, you're more or less invincible. It doesn't last very long, but, you know, it gives you a notification that Guyvin will be interested in hearing about this place. Alright, well, this appears to be the door. There's some other things on the map here, but let's talk to this Guardian. Alright, sharing the Jarrow blood is only the first step. Gotta do some fetch quests first. There are 3 paths: Determination, Righteousness, and Sight. And so there are 3 quests. For Sight, you have to use the braziers in the area to essentially illuminate it. Path of Righteousness is you have to deal with this barbarian shaman, and the Path of Determination requires you to go pick some stuff up in a vial. Easy enough, right? Yeah, well, I'm gonna rest up. I'll be right back. When you talk to the Guardian there about the paths, there are some changes that happen. Some things go active that were previously inactive, specifically these fire elementals here. You need burning hearts from these fire elementals to actually complete the next quest, so I'll kill them all off and actually pick everything up off screen, because as you can see there's a whole bunch of crap lying around. I'm guessing that these guys have more than enough hit points they're going to be immune to power word blind, but we'll see. It doesn't look like that. The enemies in this game have substantial numbers of bonus hit points, and I think that they realize that the number of enchantments you can put on your weapons and such would just make the game trivial if they didn't beef up the enemies somewhat. If you look at the number of hit points we have, I have, you know, my main character has a 16 con, well 17, but 16 effectively, and so he's a fairly high hit, not a real high hit point class, but still has, you know, 166 hit points at level 16. You know, to about 10 hit points a level, which is fairly high, you know, considering wizards get base 4. But enemies here are routinely immune to Power Word Blind, which requires you, essentially, it has no effect if you have more than 200 hit points. So the power words are really not very useful. They have no saving throw, which has some advantage, but that's one of the fiery hearts we needed to pick up. The next challenge is back in this area here, and I'm going to have my party wait, just so they don't get slaughtered. There's this conversation here. You're supposed to, if you have a 14 or higher intelligence, supposed to get an option to recognize that it's sulfur and get some influence with Bishop for being knowledgeable about the ways of the world. Oops, we died. And we died. You have to be fairly determined, as the quest name indicates, because you're just gonna get hit for. I mean, I was getting hit for 72 damage there. So I could rest up, but I can actually just cast Soothing Light, which heals 16 hit points around for quite a few rounds to your entire party. Quite effective. But I'm going to clean everything up off screen so we can light those braziers. Now there are these 3 fiery hearts we picked up, and that's what we need to light these braziers. Of the special abilities you get from those rituals, Aurora Chain is not bad. It's just kind of hampered by its low duration. You notice I'm pausing while I'm talking here. Soothing Light is really the only one of them that's actually good. Most of them are just kind of half-ass, pretty much. We're gonna have to fight some shadows, so I'm gonna fight some shadow with shadow by using a greater shadow conjuration to summon a shadow. Now, you would think Greater Shadow Conjuration, the level 7 spell, would summon a fairly powerful shadow, but it's only level 9. If you cast the level 4 version of the same spell, it summons exactly the same shadow. So the level 7 one is really, really useless. And, you know, anyway, we end up with some shadows, so we have to kill those off. Shadows are sort of annoying because you can't actually see where they are unless you actually stop and use the inspect key. At any rate, we have to repeat that trick twice at these other 2 braziers, so I'll just do that off screen. It's not, I mean, they're tedious enemies and there's not anything particularly interesting about them. At the top of the hill here is the shaman, who's the part of, what is this, the Path of Righteousness. And, you can take a variety of options here. I'm actually going to take the evil option for some quick influence with Bishop, and I lose a little bit of influence with Chandra for that, but I don't know. I'm not too worried about my influence with Chandra. I think I've got plenty. And he drops some stuff. So, between this episode and the next, since we're getting pretty much close to done here, I'll clean up the other 2 braziers and meet you at the Jero Guardian once we're done with all of that. See you next time.